So you were
It's
having all these encounters, so you
yeah.
start to realize it's getting a little bit dark.
Yeah, it got, sometimes like you just sense it. You're like, "Oh, this is like a little weird. I'm a little uncomfortable. It's just getting dark."
Yeah.
And so like I was just, continually living my life like that. And I just had like this, like I couldn't sleep. It was the paranoia of like somebody's watching me
Mm.
while I'm sleeping type of thing. And I had no protection, from God because I wasn't a Christian. So I was just like dealing with that. And I like remember just trying to sleep, just trying to sleep. And um I remember just feeling like I had the tarot cards like in my drawer, like next to my bed. And I just remember like feeling and seeing like this like dark portal, like where the cards were, like it was like red and like black. And I just like felt it. It was just something I only could have felt and known. And so I like got the cards and I like threw them out like in the dumpster, like outside my house. And because I was like, I can't sleep. And then once I did that, like I felt like peace. Like I felt relieved. Like that was
Oh
what I
my
needed to do.
god.
Like it was like the right thing. And so just little things like that. Like I remember I was like there are little things that like leading up to like me being saved that like God was like,
Showing you.
yeah, showing me. I
Mhm.
remember I was like writing like a bunch of like affirmations about like the universe and stuff, and I'd be like, "I trust the universe for its healing power," and stuff like that, just all that, like, affirmations, and I remember just, like, erasing the universe on my, like, paper and writing God because I was like, "What? The universe? Isn't it God?" It's like he probably spoke that to me, but I was like it was like a connection like that. I was like, "Wait, I think
Yes.
it's God, it's not the universe," because I grew up in the church, so I knew that there was God, you know?
Yep.
Um, and so it was just like little ways like that that the Lord like slowly was like softening my heart towards Him. And so
So when did you, like, know that Jesus was God?
I knew because while I was working at this juice bar, and the lady I was working with, she's so sweet. And she was a Christian. She was a Christian. I dropped out of college. I was working full time. Like was so like I was like, I need to take a break from school. Like I literally have no idea what I'm doing with my life, like type of thing. And so I was working at this juice bar and I had like no direction. And she was a Christian. So she just was like asking me, she was like, have you ever been to church? And I was like, yes, I've been to church. I was like, "Oh my gosh, if she's like, is this another crazy, like, religious person?" Like, I literally was thinking that. And no, she was, like, so sweet about what she, like, was saying, and she was just like, "How do you know Jesus?" Like, she was just bringing up, like, Jesus and, like, God, and I was like, "Yeah, I know a little bit about that." Like, my parents are Christian, like, I was trying to, like, change the subject.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think it got to this point where, like, she just kept talking about it, and I just was like, "Well, I'm" like, I just knew that I was, like, a sinner. Like, I just knew that, like, I had so much, like, baggage, and I was like, "Well, like, God could never forgive me," or, like, "God, like, I'm so ashamed of, like, what I've done in my past." Like, I think I said to her, I was like, "Well, you don't know what I've done in my past." And she was like, "No, it's okay. Like I was a sinner too, and he forgave me." Like she was telling me a little bit about her life and how far she came, and it was really her testimony of like, wow, like okay, like wait, God forgave you? Like what does that mean?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so in that moment, I that's when I like felt God, like his voice, like it was definitely like a Holy Spirit like moment and he spoke to me and he told me it was just like love. He was like, I love you and like you're forgiven. And it was like, wow, like years of like pain and like trauma and like just brokenness were like gone. Like it was like a weight was like lifted off of me. And I just started crying and I was like at work in like the middle of a shift.
Yeah.
And so like God can work in any way. And so I felt like the Holy Spirit like in me. Like it was like a divine intervention, like exchanging like my old heart for like a new heart. Like he like breathed his life into me. And it was like this weight went off me and like my nose started bleeding. And I felt like maybe that was like Jesus's blood. Like I don't
Yeah.
know, a way of like the blood, like his blood was shed in that moment for me.
Mm.
So
It
yeah,
meant something to you then.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, "What is going on? My nose is bleeding," like but I just knew that, like, something changed, like, in my spirit,
Yeah.
and, yeah, I just felt his love, and it just was, like it was definitely the Lord, it was not, like, a thought, it wasn't myself, like, it was something external from the room, you know?
That's so beautiful, and especially because, like you said, leading up to that happening, you were like, "Yeah, I know about him, like, not interested, like, don't give me your sales pitch, I already know about this." Like, those weren't your thoughts.
Yeah,
Weren't your thoughts. That's not what y where you were at, that's not I feel like that's one of the greatest ways to, like, understand when you hear from God. I think it was one of my last podcast guests, her name was Devin. She said something about, like, how she struggles with, like, panic and,
mhm,
like, very anxious thoughts and self-deprecating thoughts and stuff like this, and then God, when he told her that he loved her,
yeah,
she was like, "I knew that didn't come from me because I didn't feel that about myself."
yeah, mm,
And then the second part about how much I love what you just said is just how simple it can be to come into a relationship with Jesus. Like you're at work,
mhm,
working at a juice bar, and you accepted Jesus right then and there. Like it doesn't have to be this whole scary, I don't know, like building up the anticipation sort of thing. Like, and even if anybody's listening today and like you're wondering how you can experience this, how you can know about Jesus and know him, all you have to do is just ask and be open to it. And
yeah,
the Holy Spirit can come into your heart and yeah, and you can have a new heart like right like that, like snap of the fingers.
it's
And then
beautiful,
the Holy Spirit's job is to point to Jesus.
yeah,
So what was that process like for you? Because this is
yeah.
gonna uproot your whole belief system, everything you're doing, believe in. So, like, what happened after that?
Everything, like, just my whole world changed, like, I just the veil came off, like, the scales came off, like, I saw everything through God's eyes, I really did, I had this desire to, like, listen to worship music, you know, it was just, like, those desires, I had a desire to, like, open the Bible, and I hadn't touched the Bible since I was, like, in Christian school, like
Yeah.
and so that was definitely the Holy Spirit, like, working and, like, pointing me and, you know, I started reading the Word, I started, you know, getting going to church, I started going to church again, and, just slowly but surely, he started just pointing to Jesus, pointing, like, "Okay, this is the way, you know, the truth, the life," and just immediately, I just deleted, like, the astrology stuff, it convicted me. I was like, "Wait, it's almost like the Lord was saying, like, to me, like, those things, like, are trying to take the place of me, really, like, those things are that's like it's a false idol, it was like a trying to take the place of God, it was like, "Why do I need these astrology things when I have the Lord, when I have the Creator, like, fellowshipping with me, I don't need those things anymore," so I just deleted them, I was like, "I don't need this," you know, I have the Lord.